Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be running you through the quick start guide for the new RemNote plugin system. I'm also going to be building a very quick example plugin to show you the kinds of interactions that are possible through the new API. So I've already set up my development environment, so I'm going to jump straight over to the GitHub template repository, and I'm going to create a new repository based on the template. So for my example plugin, I want to do a queue motivator, so I'm just going to call it queue-motivator. Next, I'm going to clone this repository locally. So once I'm here, what I can do is run a quick npx script to help me generate the manifest.json file, which contains a bunch of metadata about the plugin. So if I run npx remnote plugin init, now let's compile and run the plugin and head over to RemNote to check that everything's wired up correctly. So if I run npm run dev, this will compile and run the plugin, and then I can jump over to RemNote. Either the web app or the desktop app will work. If I go to plugins, build, then develop from localhost, develop, then you can see the plugin has been installed. So with all of that out of the way, it's time to jump into the exciting part of the video, which is actually coding the example plugin. So for this plugin, it's going to be very similar to the puppy reinforcement plugin, but with a slight difference. Instead of telling us how great we are when we complete our flashcards, it's going to tell us that we need to try harder when we fail flashcards. So let's jump into the code and start implementing this plugin. So the first place we're going to want to start is in the index.tsx file. So I'll just jump there now. And in the onActivate method, which can be considered the entry point for the plugin, I'm just going to remove all of the existing sample code. Like that. And in its place, I'm just going to register a new widget, which is basically a custom React component that you can embed into RemNote at specified locations. So in this case, I want to embed it inside a floating widget, which is like a pop-up, which is going to show up in the queue. So the next step is to trigger the floating widget to open inside the queue when the user has failed a flashcard. And for that, I'm going to listen to an event. So you can see I've added a listener and I'm listening to the queue complete card event. When the user completes a card in the queue, we check the score they gave that card. And if the score is the again score, then we're going to open the floating widget 180 pixels above the show answer button. Now we need to write the code for the widget, which is going to show up when the user fails a card. So widgets are just custom React components that live in the widgets directory. So in the widgets directory, I'm going to create a new file called popup.tsx, and I'm just going to paste in this very simple React component here, which is basically just going to tell us to try harder once we failed a card. So let's open up the flashcard queue and try failing a card. As you can see, the floating widget shows up in the location that we specified. And now let's check that it doesn't happen when we successfully answer a card. There we go. All right, guys, so at this point, all that's really left to do is to improve the styling of the widget a little bit, because right now, if we take a look, it's looking a little bit plain. So what I think this widget needs is to scare us a little bit. You know, it's got to give us that kind of adrenaline rush that's going to make us perform better when we're answering our flashcards. So who better to help us achieve that than Michelin star chef and notoriously angry man, Gordon Ramsay. So what I'm going to do is just copy this image here, and I'm going to go and scour the web for some angry looking photos and also some audio clips of Gordon, and I'm going to add them into the widget and make it look a little bit better.
2 hours later.
Alright guys, so I'm finally back. I think I made some big improvements to the widget styling. It's looking a lot better now. Why don't we head on back to the flashcard queue and we can check it out. So just imagine yourself, you're going through your queue. It starts off going well. Capital of France, that's Paris, that's easily recalled. Get the same one again and again because I pasted in the same one. But then you come across, you know, what's the capital of England? And it's not coming to you. And so you've got to hit forgot.
It's ridiculous.
There you go. Gordon Ramsay's there to motivate you to try harder next time. All right, so maybe we get this one wrong again.
You dirty pig!
Yeah. And we get this one wrong as well, maybe.
Do you know what? I don't even know where to start.
All right, so I think that's really going to help us when we're going through our flashcards in the queue, if we've got someone there just to motivate us, someone who's going to push us to try our best and to achieve the best that we can possibly achieve. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And if you have any requests for more in-depth videos, please leave them in the comments as well. And don't forget to check out the description, because it has a bunch of links to resources that you can use to help you get started writing plugins. All right, guys, see you in the next one.